So this second take, don't take the
Yeah.
first one. You want to go ahead and so
Okay.
tell us who Steven Scott is.
Okay. Well, Stephen Scott is a alcoholic who has come up with a solution
Yeah,
for to support to help other alcoholics
yeah.
to stay clean.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been to one NA meeting in my whole life,
Okay.
NAAA meeting, and that was to take some kids from the job I work at
Okay.
to a roundup. I've been around people who have been in AA, okay, but that's later on in this conversation.
Yes.
To
Okay.
start off with, I was diagnosed with severe pancreatitis.
Okay.
I've had doctors tell me I was going to die if I
Mm-hmm.
took another drink. 3 doctors. It didn't stop me.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't believe in that. I believed in, if you read my book, I never thought I was alcoholic.
Yeah.
I didn't want to look at that. I was like, no, I just
Mm-hmm.
like to party.
Yeah.
You know, I go to work every day.
Yeah.
I've done gang prevention in the early 90s. I worked at a group home for 15 years, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm with a drug treatment center
Okay.
for the last 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, September 13th of this year will be 10 years clean and sober.
Yep.
You know, uh, when I started this job, I was still drinking. I never went to work drunk.
Yeah.
But I couldn't wait to get off work.
Okay. To go drink.
And I would go, I'd plan that on my way home. Not I'm going to McDonald's or Burger King.
Okay.
I got to stop by my liquor store, get me
Okay.
something, and then everything else fell in place. And
Okay.
I'm constantly going, I'm not no alcoholic.
Yeah.
I didn't believe I had to go sit around 100 people in no meeting.
Yeah.
I said I quit when I get good and ready when I quit. Well, that's the problem with this disease.
Yeah.
You'll make an excuse
Yeah.
even when you know it. You'll find in this book I had to leave this town for 8 years because I was going to go to prison.
Yep.
And it was all behind drugs
Okay.
and making poor decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see it. I was like, I ain't no, you asked me back then, no, I ain't no alcoholic. I just needed some money. Well, what'd you need the money for?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can party.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And all through that book, it says that up until 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And when I was working at the group home, dealing with youth that were in gangs and runaway girls and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I didn't realize the kids had those kind of problems. My realization was, you're out here trying to survive.
Yeah.
And they smoked weed.
Yeah.
I said, but when we closed and my boss said he worked for a drug treatment center, is when I first looked at it, I said, okay, and because of my respect for him, I stopped smoking weed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I knew I'd be drug tested.
Yeah.
But I kept drinking.
Okay.
And when I got there, I met a doctor. And he looked at my chart. I'll never forget when he first met me. He was like, oh, you have chronic pancreatitis. He said, well, you look good. He said, you look healthy. He said, but I'm going to see you again.
Oh.
And I said, I laughed at him and said, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went on about my business.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, I was in the hospital at the beginning of September of 2013. And I said, okay. And I was in there. And then on September 13th of 2013, he was going to discharge me.
Yeah.
I was healthy again.
Yeah.
My pancreas was fine.
Okay.
And he was like, he came in, looked at me. He said, you look good. He said, I don't want you to go back to work for 2 more weeks till you come see me. He said, and that's it. And he was so nonchalant. I thanked him.
Yeah.
Later in life, he's not my doctor now. He retired.
Okay.
But I don't know what it was. To me, it was a message from God. because the other doctors told me, and I just shunned them off, whatever.
Yeah.
But he walked back in my room when he discharged me, and he poked his head and he looked me in the eye,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "You know you're gonna die, right?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah. Now anybody else would have thought that was unethical for a doctor to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he told me, and I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And for some reason, it stuck a little.
Yeah.
And then when I walked out of that hospital, my friend picked me up, and I told him that day, I said, "Man, I'm done."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Okay." He kind of shined me off. And I made it 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, I said, "I'm serious. I haven't had a drink in 7 days."
Yeah.
And he said, "I'm going to join you." And I said, "Okay." He said, "We'll be each other's sponsee." I said, "Okay." And we were joking.
Yeah.
But we were serious.
Yeah.
And every night I would leave work at 11 o'clock. And from being there and looking at the NA book, I said, "Ooh, you're right. I can't go by Al's to this gas station." I said, "I can't do it."
Yeah.
Because I'll go in.
Yeah.
And they would I was so bad, they would give me credit. I didn't have to have money.
Oh.
They would let me get whatever I want, and I would pay them religiously like it was OPPD or something.
Oh, okay.
I paid them when I got paid.
Yeah.
And I changed my route home, and I talked to him every night. And we went from 7 days to 30 days.
Yeah.
And I got excited, and I was like, I had someone that support. And I was like, okay, we got 30 days. And we would remind ourselves, if you take even a Dixie cup, you got to start at day one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, got to 90 days.
Yeah.
And we got to 180 days. 6 months. And we talked to each other religiously every night going home.
So now do you still count your days as every day as victory days?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I can't even, I got to go 10 years by,
10 years that's a victory.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But it becomes so routine. Man.
Okay.
But for the first 6 months is what was important, because on that 180th day, going home, I told my friend, I can't do this. I was 3 blocks from my house. Yeah. And I told him, I'm turning the corner. Yeah. And if you look at my card, you'll see on my card, it says want, need, reality. Okay. And my friend said, do you want a drink? And I told for the first time, I said, no, I don't want it. I got 180 days clean. I said, but I need it. Yeah. I said, I'm an alcoholic. And he said, do you want it? I said, no, I need it. He said, well, if you don't want it, don't take the first one. Yeah. Yeah. And to me, I'm religious, not super religious. Yeah. But I went home that night. I didn't turn the corner. Yeah. Yeah. And on September 13th of 2023, it'll be 10 years. Yeah. And I don't take the first one. Yeah. Why them words? Yeah. I've been all over the country in my life. And all I wanted to do was party, drink, get high, and then do my job. I figured I was like anybody else. You go to the bar. I'm far from anybody else. Yeah. I'm an alcoholic. I have a disease. Yeah. I'm a drug addict. I have a disease. I can't go in and have a drink. Yeah. But I made up tons of excuses why I could. Yeah. And those excuses got me in trouble and stuff. And I lived the wrong way. Yeah. Now I don't take the first one. Now I've changed who I am. Yeah. Yeah. Now I want to help whoever. I do believe in what the 12 steps says. Yeah. Honesty, willingness. You have to be honest. Yeah. You have to be willing to want to change. Yes. And so I did that, and then I met Miss Tammy. And I was in school, and we were just talking, and I said, Miss Tammy, and she was like, well, what do you, I told her I was an alcoholic. I said, and this is when I first heard those words, and I said, I don't take the first one. Yeah. And I started explaining it to her. And then one day she was like, you're so passionate. She said, you need to do something with this.
Yep.
And we went on a 6-year journey because we couldn't meet all the time.
Yeah.
We were at work.
Yep.
So we would meet on a Saturday for an hour before I went to work or something. And we would type up a little bit.
Yep.
The book is not long, but it's powerful.
That's the truth.
You know?
Yeah, that's what I noticed about it. I was like, it keeps you drawn in.
You know?
It's a quick read, but it's very impactful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I have kids, and we started, and then once I told her and she said, we need to do something. She said, well, she showed me a thing about ordering some bracelets. Mm-hmm. And we ordered the bracelets. Mm-hmm. And I started giving kids bracelets. Yep. And then I had kids graduate and come back and say, I was at an AA meeting. Yep. And the people want to know where they can get a bracelet. Yeah. And I was like, I can't do that right now because it's unethical because I work with you. Yeah. You know, I'm giving you these. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And then that's when Miss Tanner's like, you need to start your own business. Yeah. You need to get this message out. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've done. And I'm here now today because I'm still growing. Yeah. I still want to do more. We have a book. Me and Miss Tammy now have a book. But we want to get it everywhere. We want to get it in every rehab center in the United States and beyond. Yeah. We want it to be a support for people, an additional support. Yeah. You know, NA is important. AA is important. Yeah. What I'm doing is important. Absolutely. You know, and anything that will keep people, give them a chance. Yeah. Because it's not just about the alcoholism. No. It's not about drug and alcohol. No. The don't take the first one can be implied in many different areas of people's lives. And that can go for anybody. Like someone was saying to me, you know, if you don't want sugar in your life, if you're overweight and you don't want that piece of cake. Yep. Don't make an excuse. Yep. You know right off what you don't want. Yes. Yep. But you'll make an excuse. Oh, that's all right. If I eat this will just be. No, don't take the first one. Absolutely. And change the habit. Yes. To make to where you're not making any excuses. Yes. Yep. You know, that's what I'm trying to get out. That's what I relate to the kids I work with. I even talk to the adults at our treatment center now. Yes. That are grown and tell them because you're making an excuse. Yes. And that's all we're doing. That's what I was doing. And I don't do that anymore. Yeah. Yeah. But you have to change your lifestyle. That's true. You cannot be the same person. When you're an addict or an alcoholic or anything, you have that criminal thinking. Yeah. Yeah. And that goes for anything you do. Yeah. Criminal don't mean robbing somebody. No. You can rob yourself. Yeah. You know, being manipulative. That's right. Yeah. You manipulate yourself into believing that what you're doing is right. Yes. Instead of looking at it and going, that's an excuse. I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm not taking that first one. Yeah. I just ain't doing it. Yes. And being a better person. Yeah. You know, and that's why I just look and go, I thank God, because I'm like, I didn't get the message from you. Yeah. When you sent it by messenger. Doctors. He sent you many messages. Many messages. Yeah. I weighed 140 pounds with chronic pancreatitis that will never go away. Yeah. I have a doctor that told me, a gastroenterologist that took an MRI of my pancreas. And he said, you should be in constant pain. He said, you should be on hydrocodone or something. Even while you're sober? Yes. Oh, okay. And this is years after I don't take the first one. Okay. And he was like, and he helped me because I went because my pancreas would flare up. Okay. But because of my pancreas, I also have acid reflux. And I'm going to Burger King. And I'm eating greasy food. And I'd have a flare up and I'm going, but doc, I ain't drinking. Yeah. I ain't doing that. And he'd be like, do you eat fast food? And I was like, yeah. And he told me, you have chronic pancreatitis.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you have to watch, which I do now.
Yeah.
I watch everything that I eat.
Yeah.
And I, you know, because I ain't understand it. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was just from drinking, and it's not.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to change.
Yes. Yes.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
So my goal is to get this out here.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be out here, and I want to help people.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing that since I said gang prevention.
Yes. Yes.
And you can't save everybody.
That's true.
But if you're an alcoholic, and I can get one of you,
yeah,
to tell me don't take the first one.
Well, you've probably already had more than one.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I have kids that are doing good that went in to treatment. You know, it's funny because it's thousands of kids. You're not going to get them all.
Yeah, that's true.
But I got some that call me back.
Yeah.
And the first thing out their mouth is, Mr. Steve, I ain't taking the first one.
Yep.
I'm working.
Yep.
I ain't drinking. I haven't relapsed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say, because I ain't going to take the first one. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to look at them. 3 years, they're 19. They're 22 now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely. So you didn't do the 12-step NAAA
No.
to get sober. And looking back on it, do you think you would have done it that way, or?
I can't say I would have.
Yeah.
Because I was on a different path.
Yeah.
You know,
because you said you didn't believe you were alcoholic.
I didn't believe I was alcoholic, and I believe that I grew up in that hippie generation.
Yeah.
And I quit other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I used to take acid when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I didn't want to trip no more.
Yeah.
And I just put it down.
Yeah.
And you couldn't give me that today
Mm-hmm.
to save my soul. Before
Yeah.
I was drinking and smoking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then I was doing other drugs.
Yeah.
That went along with my drinking and smoking throughout the years.
Yep.
But I'm figuring I ain't no alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to party.
Yeah.
And I like to drink. I get up and go to work.
Yeah.
You know.
Without having a drink.
Without having a drink, you know.
Yeah.
But then I'm waiting.
Yeah.
To get off to go have a drink. And
Yeah.
I drink before I eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I wake up in the morning, but I ain't no alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm off work. I wake up.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, you couldn't get no liquor until 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
When the liquor stores opened up.
Yeah.
And I'd be right there.
Going,
I'm going to get me a bottle. This is before you have breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you go have breakfast.
Yeah.
But I'm no alcoholic. You know.
Yeah.
I look at that now. And I'm like, hey, that was an excuse.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You are an alcoholic. I'm not like normal people.
Yeah.
That can go out and have a social drink.
Yeah.
If I take a drink today, it won't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you what, 6 months from now, if it takes that long, I'll be back in the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, with my pancreas.
Yeah.
I already know that. But now I know through this that that'll never happen because I'm not making that excuse.
Yeah.
I have no triggers.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, none.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need one day at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not taking the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is instilled into me. And I feel so blessed.
Yeah.
Because I work with people, youth and adults, that struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at them going, but you're going to make an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wait. I said, you're clean.
Yeah.
You've been here for 6 months.
Yeah.
You ain't had a drink.
Well, because people put their pinpoint on, I just have to get through here. And then once I get out.
Yep. And then I'm not going to change who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
The old me is in that book.
Yeah.
I need to have another book about the new me.
Yeah.
And what it is to be sober.
That's true.
After being an alcoholic, what are the rewards now that I am sober?
Yeah.
That's another thing. Because we make up excuses. I remember counting pennies to get a drink, to buy a shooter, or to buy a pack of cigarettes. And now, something that will kill you.
Yeah.
Now, I started well, I want to say 3 years ago.
Okay.
Every day I go, like when I leave here today,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm right by my gas station, by my job,
Mm-hmm.
I will go in there, and at the minimum, because this is the minimum,
Mm-hmm.
back when cigarettes were $5 a pack.
Yeah.
And I spent way more than that. And
Okay.
I hustled way more than a day.
Yeah.
I'll go get $5 worth of quarters,
Mm.
and I will take them home, and I will put them. I have a cat,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a big 5-gallon litter thing.
Mm-hmm.
I will put them in there till I fill it up. The first time I needed to pay a medical bill, and they charged me when I got on Medicare, and they charge you for the first 4 months.
Okay.
It was $600 and something.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. And they told me this back right before I started, months before I started.
Okay.
And I started saving these quarters. And I did that because I said, you were spending $5 a day to kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Mm-hmm.
just do this and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I did that. And when they told me and the bill finally came out, I took those quarters in.
Okay.
And I had $650.
Right at the
Okay.
on the bill.
And I paid the bill, but then I
Uh-huh.
started again.
Okay. Yeah.
And the next time I had $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, what are you going to do? So I went to Home Depot
Mm-hmm.
and I bought a brand new snowblower.
Yeah.
And I said, now I can look at
Now
this.
you can reward yourself.
The last time I just did this,
Uh-huh.
I had $2,100.
Did you?
And I just take that money home.
Is it always the rolls of quarters?
It's not a roll. I get $5 in quarters. I just throw them in there.
Okay.
And then I break the machine at the bank when I take all these things in and pour the quarters in.
Uh-huh.
And the people get a tickle, and I get to talk to them.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the people at the store that give me the quarters. I had a guy there that bought my book because he was like, why are you getting quarters every day?
Yeah.
And I told him, and he said, oh my God. He said, I'm trying to quit.
Yep.
And I said, well, this is just one thing I do.
Yeah.
You need to read my book. And he went and bought it.
Oh,
and stuff. And everybody in there, when I walk in now, they got the quarters sitting there. They say, here he comes. You know, but it's just one quarters. Thing from what we used to do.
Yeah.
I used to scrounge up pennies
just
to get a pack of cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another story in the hospital. I had a pancreatic attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to the hospital. And I'm in there and I'm asking the doctors. Now I'm 3-4 years. And I don't take the first one. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Doc, what is it? I'm watching what I eat.
Yeah.
Why did they said, well, you have chronic pancreatitis. Anything can whenever. Kick it up, you know. And I go, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And there was a nurse. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There was a nurse there. And she came in and I was getting discharged.
Okay.
And, well, 2 things. Let me back up. A doctor came to see me.
Okay.
Now, I smoked at least a pack a day. Mm-hmm. When I went in the hospital with the pancreatitis, first thing they did was put a patch on me. Well, back in the day, I tried to quit with the patch.
Oh, with the nicotine
patch? Take the patch off, smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
Put the patch back on. I'm trying to quit. You know? I mean, I'm honest about it.
Yeah.
But in the hospital, you can't smoke.
Yeah.
So they put the patch on. Uh-huh. So I had been in there about 4 days. And this doctor wasn't my doctor, but he came in to check on me. Mm-hmm. And he seen it. He said, hey. He said, you smoke? I said, yeah. He said, you wear that patch? I said, yeah. He said, and you've been here 4 days? I said, yes, sir. He said, do you realize that nicotine is out of your system after 24 hours? He said, the rest of it's up here in your brain. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay. And I played him off. All right, whatever. I need my patch, you know.
Yeah.
Then this nurse come in and I'm being discharged. Mm-hmm. And she was, and the people there love me. I'm sorry. I'm a good patient.
Yeah.
And she was like, you're leaving? I was like, yeah. She said, did they ever find out what was wrong with you? I said, no, I never did know why I had pancreatic attack. And she said, okay. She said, well, I'm going to get your paperwork. And then she came back in. She said, do you smoke? I said, yeah, I smoke. She said, how much you smoke? I said, about a pack a day. She said, really? And she went and got my paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And she came back in. And she's like, can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I said, yes, ma'am. What is it? She said, I just want you to know. She said, you have to take the first one.
Yeah.
And she said, what? I said, don't take the first one. And I left there. I went to CVS Pharmacy. I had a pack of cigarettes in my car. I went to CVS Pharmacy. I got step 1 of the Nicoderm patch for $40.
Yeah.
And I went home and I did all 3 steps. I have not had a cigarette since because I'm not taking the first one.
Yeah, that's what
and that's what this does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll never forget that nurse because she was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not taking the first one. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Because pancreatic cancer, you die within a year.
Yes.
There is no cure.
Yeah.
But it was about don't take the first one.
Yeah.
And I did. And cigarettes were really hard to kick.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I
nicotine.
did it. But that don't take the first one, that was what I needed.
So would you say cigarettes were more hard than the alcohol?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I kept going and didn't think nothing of the cigarettes.
Okay.
For 4 years when I wasn't drinking or smoking and wasn't triggered by that.
Okay.
I just had to have me a cigarette.
Yeah.
And then when she told me that, I was like, okay, quit making. And that's when I came up with, it's about excuses.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all it's about. You kept making excuses to smoke.
Yeah.
You don't need none of that. Don't take the first one.
Yeah.
So it's for everything.
Yeah.
You know.
It's for everything. Don't take the first one. Can be found Amazon,
Barnes and
Noble,
Target,
and TBN.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sure can.
It's a quick read, but it's a powerful read.
Yep. And I want to get it in every treatment center. I want it to be like, what would Jesus do?
Yeah.
I want you to have a bracelet that says, don't take the first one.
Yeah.
I want you to have a t-shirt, a mug to remind. I sit here and play. When I first started, I'd sit and play with it.
Yeah.
And I'd be sitting there, I'd be like, don't take the first one.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You don't take. I don't play with it as much now.
Yeah.
But don't take the first one is ingrained in my brain.
Absolutely. It's your brand.
Yes, my brand.
It's your vision statement, your mission statement.
That's right.
So, working to get t-shirt. Have you already started that?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. This is step 1. Well, step 1 was the book.
Yep.
Now I have trademark coming. T-shirts, mugs, all that'll be coming.
Okay.
I want to get out here and talk to people.
Yes. And do you think you'll ever write the second part?
I'm gonna talk to Miss Tammy about that. We will discuss it. You know, I got to get everything I need. This was hard, but it was easy because it was actually my life.
Yeah.
Now, the next one should be easy too because it would be more about what it's like to live clean and sober.
Yeah.
How you need to change.
Yeah.
You know, this one told the story about my exploits.
Yes.
This next one will be about my positive exploits.
Yeah, living in your truth.
That's right.
Clean and sober.
That's right. And thanking God every day.
Absolutely.
You got to do it every night. I say, thank God for making it through another day.
Yeah.
You know, but
that's exciting.
And I love it.
Yeah, that's exciting. Well, it's out here.
Yes.
And the message is going to be spread.
Yeah. A website's coming.
Coming.
Then you can just order stuff.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's next. Website coming.
Yep.
Okay. And until website is up, you can reach Stephen Scott at Don't Take the First One, ONE for 1, 22. 22 is the 2 numbers, 22 at gmail.com. And I'll put it up so you guys can see it. Stephen Scott, Don't Take the First One, a memoir of Stephen Scott's struggle and success over addictions.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.